So we have another entry into the Caitlin Clark fans are bored file. This time coming courtesy of some comments made by NBA trainer Chris Brickley. Brickley has trained some of the, or worked with at least some of the most famous names in the game. LeBron James, Kevin Durant. I mean, there is a list that goes on and on. He's sort of a celebrity trainer, if you will, in a sense, but you don't get to that status if you don't have the credibility in the gym, of course. And Caitlin Clark would be a huge name to add to that list. Her name came up in a podcast appearance he was doing. The Line with Dr. Kristen Holmes is the name of the show. And Brickley is the one who brought Caitlin Clark up. So this discussion was happening, and he brings her name up as part of the conversation. Here's the context and the comments.
Structure of the specific team.
Yes.
So
yeah. You just called it.
Sometimes
some teams are like, no,
they've got
you need
people
to be with me a year for the first 3 years. This is happening with me and Caitlin Clark. So Caitlin Clark finished rookie season. We've been talking for a few years, and
you worked with Caitlin Clark.
So we were going to work last summer, but I was gonna have to go to Indianapolis. And I respect it. Like when you're young on your team, you work out at your practice facility.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping now this off season,
I love it.
I'm hoping that she'll come to New York and we'll get some work. And she's the reason why the WNBA has become so big. I would love to work with her.
Yeah.
She's an amazing talent. She's changed the game.
She has absolutely changed.
Yeah.
Women's sports
for sure.
Just
and I love
generally
competitiveness too.
Oh man, I know she's. That's the other piece too. That like, it's okay for women to be competitive.
Sure.
And
so all complimentary there in general, right? I mean, you can hear the admiration coming from the host, but the context of the comments in the sense of Caitlin Clark wanting to stay in Indianapolis or staying around the Fever and then not going to New York has drummed up some discussion. Really, I don't see a headline takeaway. I mean, to me, the headline takeaway is trainer wants to work with Caitlin Clark. Look, who does it benefit more? As much as Brickley has a laundry list of clients, it still helps him to say, I'm in the gym with Caitlin Clark, right? As far as how it could actually help Caitlin Clark's game, who knows? I mean, I feel like when you're a player of her caliber and when you have the opportunity to work with people who have the pedigree, you see what you can do. You do as much as you possibly can, but it's not a topic that should be causing any sort of controversy. We only have one side of the story for one, and that is what Brickley had to say just there. We don't know exactly why this didn't work out or why the workouts didn't happen, at least from Caitlin Clark's point of view. She stayed in Indianapolis. Does that mean the Fever held her hostage? But remember last offseason when the workout footage came out and everybody was all pumped and excited? It's not like people were saying Caitlin Clark is doing the wrong thing in the lab when she was working with Keith Porter at the time. Now, as far as Caitlin Clark's offseason training and regimen, sure, I mean, when you have an injury-riddled season the way that she did, all of that stuff can come into question, right? Like, why did that happen? Remember the muscle photos that blew up so big? I mean, those were huge, right? And you could be skeptical and say, was there too much focus on adding bulk? And did that have something to do with the injury? I don't know, right? Like, again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know. As far as whether or not she did the right things training in the lab, I don't think she was healthy enough or on the court enough for us to really get a full picture there and be able to make a complete judgment there. Caitlin Clark takes her game seriously. We know that. She has the resources, given her star power, to have access to whatever kind of training she wants. Maybe she, wanted to stay around the team and continue to bond with the team. Maybe she feels more comfortable there. Again, we haven't even heard her side of the story. So to me, it's not really something that anybody should have some sort of finger wagging opinion about. And I've seen it kind of go both ways. And like with Brickley, they'll say, he's worked with LeBron and Durant, blah, blah. He's also worked with Ben Simmons, right? I mean, Brickley last year said, thanks, bro, but Ben is healthy, moving very well. He's better now than his all-star season I've never co-signed a player that didn't prove it when their season started. Trust me on this one. September 18th, 2024. So nobody's infallible. It's not like one session in the gym there would have changed the course of Caitlin Clark's season. And, you know, you work with a variety of people, and coaches get different perspective, different tweaks on your game, but none of that is going to be some sort of magical eureka moment in one session. So again, we'll see what happens this offseason with Caitlin Clark. It's obviously, I mean, I think that's the real takeaway. At this juncture, it's the most important of her career because she's never faced the adversity that she had to face last year with the number of injuries. And remember, they started in the preseason with the quad tightness, and then there was the quad strain, then the groin strain, then the other groin strain, and then the ankle injury. So it was concerning when a bunch of them kept piling up at once, and you wondered what could be the root cause of that. Was there some sort of change in her mechanics? Is it just bad luck? And we saw the Fever, did post a new job title for a a training manager, whatever the specific title was. I don't know if it's coincidence or completely related, but it's number one priority for Caitlin Clark is to make sure she gets her body right. None of the other stuff matters if her body and her base aren't right. So that should be priority number one, to make sure she's completely healthy. Then when it comes to refining the skill set, she should work with who she wants to work with and who she thinks can most improve her game. She has access to enough information and intelligence to get that done. Does that mean going to New York to work with Brickley? Sure, that'd be great. And we'll get good viral footage out of it if she does. But most importantly, she's got to get herself healthy. And yes, then she's got to work on the rest of her game. And we know the pull-up middies and the floaters that we saw her working on last year. She likes to drive right, fade left on the threes. So varying up which direction she goes with each move. These are all things that you work on over the years. But I do think so many of these topics, when her name comes up and creates all this conversation, really have a lot to do with the fact that she just hasn't played in a long time. And it gives an outlet for the fans who are feeling that frustration to get it off their chest, even if it's misdirected. And in this case, to me, it's just kind of an innocuous thing. A trainer who works with players wants to work with the most famous player in the women's game. Duh. Will it happen? Maybe. If it doesn't, is it the end of the world? Of course not. Because it didn't, is it the end of the world? Of course not. So that's why I said add it to the Caitlin Clark fans or board file.